Yes, folks, it's time. It's time to be live on Cricbuzz Live. The color of the ball has changed. Yes, it's not pink or red anymore. We're all set for a battle with the white ball, and we are excited about it. Joining me in the studio, delighted to welcome Zaheer Khan and Michael Vaughan. A very good evening to you, gentlemen.
Hi, guys.
Hi guys, good to be back. Good evening to everyone.
Great to have both of you there, but at the very top, I have to say, Michael, I'm a little disappointed to see your little indoor setting. I was so hoping you'd be in the backyard treating us to another little delightful snippet.
Well, you asked the question. I'm led to believe that this pitch is a black soiled pitch and not a red soiled pitch. So I might have to dig up another part of my garden to do a pitch report if it plays similar to that third Test match wicket. So watch this space, Gautam.
Zach, by the time we are finished with our entire series, Michael won't have a garden left anymore.
But he'll have a nice juicy wicket in the backyard for sure. He started rolling that now.
Oh, don't use a roller. Very similar to Ahmedabad. I don't think they have rollers there.
Well. We can have an entire discussion on such things, but for the moment, the news at the very top is that Eoin Morgan has won the toss and has asked India to bat first. And much of the talk, of course, is going to be about playing 11s. So let's quickly go and figure out our playing. And having a look at India, Zaheer, I'll come straight to you. Any surprises there? We were really talking about the biggest surprise of all. I mean, I shouldn't even be asking the question. Where is Rohit Sharma? And Virat Kohli told us he's resting him for the first couple of games. So all our discussions about the future of Shikhar Dhawan have gone out the window for the moment.
Well, I think this is an opportunity for him. There's no doubt about it, and that's how it has been for the last couple of years. And at the international level, as you that age number goes on higher and higher, you have to fight. Not just the battle with regard to what you do on the field, but also how you carry yourself. So I think that's the space I guess Shikhar Dhawan is in at the moment. So every opportunity he gets, he will be looking to capitalize on that, make the most of it, because he's at that stage in his career where every innings of his is going to be judged. So it's good that he's getting this opportunity, and he's a fighter. We've all seen that in the last couple of years. That this talk has been going on for the longest time, and every time he's got the opportunity, he's gone out there and scored those runs. So here's another opportunity for him to go out there. But the name which I really liked there in that playing 11 was Bhuvneshwar Kumar. I'll be waiting to see how he goes about his business, because he's been in and out. He's been struggling with the injuries, not really been having that longish run, which is expected. A fully fit Bhuvnesh Kumar we've not seen for a while, so that's something which I'm looking forward to from him in the series.
Well, let's just get the opposition's point of view in a sense on this. Michael Vaughan, as a batsman, there was a lot of talk coming out from Ahmedabad that Shikhar Dhawan would definitely not be in the playing 11. Rohit Sharma walks into the team. Now, whenever that decision was made, Shikhar has been told you're playing. Yes, Zach used the word opportunity, but you need some sort of mental preparation going into it. Will he be a little anxious starting off?
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, he's full of experience. Left-hand, right-hand combination at the top, so that may help India. Sometimes you get players like Shikhar Dhawan that possibly thought he wasn't going to be playing, then he gets the opportunity, and he's got the mindset and certainly the game to stand out today to make sure that he stays in the side. I am surprised they've rested Rohit Sharma at the start of the series on the back of him playing so well in the Test series. He's in form, he's seen the ball nicely. And I thought that they'd gone with Rohit Sharma for the first 2 or 3 games and then rested him because he's in fine form. But a great opportunity for Shikhar Dhawan. He's a fine player.
So obviously, I mean, you don't look at those numbers here and say that, okay, fine, Shikhar Dhawan's strike rate was a little lower than you'd expect him to be, as well as, the other 3-figure scores that you have for Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul. But it's not about merit here. It's just about maybe him personally looking at that and saying, the only way is up. I can improve them.
Well, it depends, how you look at things. As a team, I think they'll be very happy. As a team, that they'll be saying that, okay, we have these three openers who on any given day can do the job for your team. So if someone is resting or is injured, having some niggle, you know that you're not going to be struggling in the middle, because we all know how important that opening slot is. You for any team, it's important to get on a good start, and opening batting is a specialist position. So it's important that you set the tone right. So from that point of view, I think it's a good headache to have for the management, and you have the quality in that batting lineup. Wherein you can see Shikhar had a great IPL. He's put up those numbers nicely in that format. He's been around for a while now and has been consistently performing well. When you look at those numbers, you can clearly see that why the others are getting the opportunity, and why Shikhar was not going to start. So that is something which settles itself, and that's how I'm sure Shikhar is also looking at these things. So as soon as he's going to walk out there, it's about making that impact again. And once you make that impact, you're always pushing those guys who are playing ahead of you, and that's what a sign of a good team is.
Yes, certainly is. We can obviously go in depth into the numbers, but for paucity of time, we'll go straight to the England playing 11, Michael, and let's get your take on this, because the one big change that Owen Morgan mentioned at the toss, and of course at the start of a series, it's tough to really name every single player, but Mark Wood instead of Tom Curran from the last time they played, that's the big one.
Yeah, this is England's best team. I've spoken a lot about the rotation policy in the Test series where England swapped and changed. Well, in T20 cricket, Owen Morgan's got his best team. And the reason why they wanted the best team is because obviously 5 opportunities to play in Indian conditions where the World Cup's going to be in a few months' time. England in white ball cricket for a few years now have been the powerhouse. They've been an exceptional 50-over team, the world champions. They made the final of the T20 World Cup in India last time it was there. Didn't quite get over the line. Carlos Brathwaite had everything to do with that. But, I sit here in Test cricket on Cricbuzz, and I'm always a little bit nervous, particularly when they're playing overseas, that, it could go downhill from an England perspective. And it did. I sit here with the white ball team, and you can see my shoulders are back because I'm confident of this white ball team. They've got everything that you require. They've got the power, they've got the skill, they've got the combinations, and they've got an outstanding captain in Owen Morgan. So I do expect England every time they play white ball cricket, even if it's in Ahmedabad and even if the pitch does offer a little bit for the spinners, I still think England's white ball team has enough in their armoury and experience to beat a very powerful Indian team.
So tell us, Michael, before I ask you the next question, how would you be sitting if it was the red ball?
No, I'd be like this.
There you go.
There you go. Especially when England against the spinning ball in Test cricket, just over the last 3 Test matches in particular, it didn't last very long, did it? Enough said.
Enough said. Well, this one is pretty much going to be of short duration, but out of choice, because it is 2 teams playing 20 overs each. But one player we're going to be seeing in action very shortly, because England are bowling first, Jofra Archer, tends to be a bit of an enigma. Obviously, huge amount of talent, Michael, but there's been a little conversation about his commitment to Test match cricket, and he's come back in a column and set the record straight by saying, every time I'm not taking a 4-fer or a 5-fer, there seem to be concern. What's your first reaction to him coming out and in the manner he's come out in a column?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's his right to write whatever he wishes, and that's fine. I wrote a column on Jofra Archer a couple of weeks ago that was very positive. I think he's an outstanding bowler across all the formats. He's certainly the most exciting bowler that English cricket has had for many, many years in terms of the pace, the bounce. He can change a game, whether it's 20-over cricket, 50-over cricket, Test match cricket. I honestly don't know why I've been embroiled into if you like, an argument or a spat. If you read my column in the Telegraph, it was very, very positive about a player. And all I said, like managing any player, if I was Joe Root, the Test match captain, and I'm sure he is doing the work, I'd want to know exactly what makes Jofra Archer tick. I don't know what makes Jofra tick. I'm not around him, and the management needs to find out what makes him tick, what's going to get him on that test field more consistently. He hasn't played a great deal of test match cricket over the last year and a half. He's had his elbow problem. Didn't play a great deal in the bubble last summer. He's only played 2 out of 6 test matches in 2021. He came out of the traps in test match cricket. I think in his first 9 test matches, he had an average of around 21. And since then, he's had an average of, I think it's just over 41. So his overall average is 31, which in test cricket is okay. But I do think he's got the talent in the game to be a world beater. I can't praise him highly enough. I've no idea why I've got brought into an argument with him. It's the way of the world. It's social media. It's headliners. It's fun. I understand it. But I think he's a fantastic bowler.
Let's get the fast bowler's perspective on this. I mean, you'll see him today as the opposition wearing a different shade. He'll be in pink very shortly, Zaheer. How do you view him as a threat in the opposition?
Well, he's a great talent. I mean, every time it's so exciting to see him run in and bowl. He makes bowling look so simple, and just seems as if he's just jogging in and bowls 145 clicks consistently. I think he's outstanding talent, and that's something which always has the expectations of others. So every time, see, if I'm looking at Jofra, I would not. If I'm Jofra Archer, I would hate it if someone hits me for a 6. It's that kind of expectations you have on yourself, and how you see yourself. And how people are seeing the balance you need to achieve properly, and at times it just gives me a feeling that when you're listening to what everyone is saying about you, and if it's affecting you and pulling you down, that shows the kind of personality you have. And I think maybe Jofra, with that regard, things affect him. So he's have his own expectations. He's thinking that I'm doing everything right. Why everyone is criticizing me, or why everyone is expecting more out of me? But the fact is very simple. You're talented, my friend. So expectations are going to be there. So you got to live with that. You got to balance it, and you have to just at times cut the clutter. At times you just got to shut all the noises down and just focus and back yourself. What you do, find that balance. Go out there, and the most important thing is you got to go out there and enjoy the game.
Yeah, lesson is simple, Jofra. Listen to what Zach is saying, pick up the Telegraph and read what Michael Vaughan has written, and it's all positive there. But if you do pick up the newspaper, if you do happen to look at the headlines, start looking at the schedule of T20 internationals going ahead. Because, Michael, you touched upon that T20 World Cup coming up in India. Now, you'd expect, or you'd hope, from any team's point of view, you want a glut of T20 internationals to play before that. Of course, there's an IPL to come. But the answer is, these are the only 5 scheduled T20 internationals thus far for India. And I mean, from a point of view, from a neutral perspective, Michael, that I'm sure you'd want a little bit more.
Yeah, but I think they get plenty. You obviously get 5 against England, which is a great series for India and for England. And then you've got the IPL where obviously you get used to conditions that little bit more, so you get your game in order. I'm sure most players will be playing their role that they do for their national team, for their franchise teams. Then a breather, and then leading into the World Cup, no doubt there'll be 2 or 3 warm-up games. I think this is a series where both these teams will be trying to iron out their probably last 2 or 3 places. England may only be looking at a couple of places that are on the periphery. I think England are pretty sure of the 11 that they want to go in to that World Cup with. It's just about playing together on a consistent basis in Indian conditions. And I'm sure Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri, they're the same. They're probably 2 or 3 places of knowing exactly what their 11 is going to be. But you'd like to play more of every format if you possibly could. But with the amount of cricket that they play and the tours that they're going on, obviously India coming to England for those 5 test matches, and then it's pretty much down to the T20 World Cup. But, the amount of cricket that these guys play and the quality that they produce, I wouldn't be too worried about the lack of games.
Yeah, we saw England approximately 13 T20 internationals. Yes, there's a possibility of an Asia Cup, but with the schedule and the clashes being the way they are, it's most likely that the team they'll send or will be able to send to the Asia Cup will not be the main side. Zaheer, your first reactions to these being the possible only T20 internationals leading up, worrying you, or you're fine with it?
Well, not really. I think the new normal has kind of added this dimension as well, where you have to adapt. And professional cricketers, you've seen now they're kind of used to just shifting from one format to another, in terms of preparation, in terms of adjusting that mindset. So I don't see it like a huge worry in terms of the number of games. It's just about the role clarity, which is important, I guess. If the team management has clarity on how they want to go about playing a certain format, what kind of roles they are looking at, which we've seen, with the Indian team also, we've seen that they have clearly identified the positions within the playing 11, and then they look for those kind of replacement, and most of the teams are adapting to that kind of methodology. So that is something which is a new normal, I would say, in terms of teams adjusting to that. So don't see any reason or a concern around the scheduling and how it's going to be leading up to the T20 World Cup.
Fair point. We've got both perspectives on that, but the one time you did see Zaheer Khan's face light up during this show, and it often does, is when the name of Bhuvaneshwar Kumar came up, because there have been times when Zaheer's been the first one to come and say, "Oh, Bhuvi, there's another injury going out. Is this it? We're hoping it's not," that sort of thing. But delight to have him back. Before we get your point of view again on that, Zaheer, let's hear from what the skipper had to say about his star fast bowler.
Yeah, he's shaping up really well. He's come back. He's fit. He's worked really well to get back to 100% fitness. And look, he's a smart operator with the ball. We've all seen that in the past few years, and he continues to bring that experience onto the field, which is going to be vital for us going forward. And he has a clear understanding of what he wants to do in the next few months, and he wants to contribute towards many more Indian victories in the coming months, especially. And in the World Cup, we would obviously need our most experienced T20 bowlers, and he's right up there with anyone else with the new ball through the middle overs and in the death as well. He's a guy that you can bank on. So yeah, we're very, very glad to have him back, and hopefully he can build strongly from here and be as ready as he is now for the World Cup as well.
Yeah, okay, maybe Virat didn't have that kind of delight showing on his face, but the words said it all, Zach. He is banking on that experience. And again, he's talking about that T20 World Cup. When it comes to a crunch situation, you want the big boys to stand up.
For sure. In the big tournaments, we've seen pressure plays a huge part. In this T20 format, especially, we've seen that all the experience really counts. It's just about making those decisions, backing yourself, absorbing that pressure. So from that point of view, I think Bhuvaneshwar Kumar is going to be right up there. The concern for me has been he's not been playing consistently. Every time he's made a comeback, he had to go back, and that really affects you mentally. And that's something which I want to see now in this particular series, how he's responding to that. Every time you have that, there's a certain mental energy which you have to spend in fighting your demons in your head, in your preparation, and that is something which he'll have to be really be aware of. You've seen over the years now, other bowlers also have caught up. When Bhuvaneshwar Kumar was say number one, Bumrah was just coming up. Now Bumrah has taken that leadership role. After that, you've seen Saini Siraj in the previous series, Shardul Thakur really making that impact with the bat and ball. So this competition is also going to add that extra bit of pressure on Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. So this is a very tricky series, yes, for sure, from his career point of view, his individual goals point of view. We'll have to wait and see how he responds in this series.
Well, we had run a poll earlier on Cricbuzz today to try and figure out what your take is on a preferred bowling combination for India, and particularly in that 2021 T20 World Cup. And as you can see, Bumrah, Bhuvi and Natarajan is the preferred trio from the fans' point of view. Now, there is no Natarajan as an option at the moment. He's still coming through a niggle at the NCA. He's working on it. But Michael, again, looking at that, Bumrah and Bhuvi obviously sort of select themselves. Natarajan, a nice X factor to have.
Yeah, he was brilliant, wasn't he, in Australia? Great skill levels, great variations. For someone playing his first few games for India, the expectation, the pressure that's on an Indian player, he coped with it great. He just looked like he was just playing another game, which is, I guess, the best kind of possibility that you'd hope in a player playing in the light blues of an Indian team with all those legends of the game, billions watching. If you can just play the game, which is a game of cricket, and just deliver your skill, they're great signs. He's certainly going to be around the T20 World Cup. Left armers, variables, the slow balls, both over and round the wicket. They're becoming so important, or very important in T20 cricket. So I think the poll have got it right, Gautam. That's exactly the three I would have gone for.
Fair enough. Before we get our joy factor question in, Zach, in one word, are you also happy with the poll? Happy with the fans?
Well, these polls keep changing, right? So wait till someone having a great series and these polls will change. So yeah, I think the good news is there are enough names at the moment which is doing the rounds, and IPL. Wait till IPL gets over. There will be one or two names cropping up saying that okay, these guys also should get that opportunity of the highest level.
Yeah, well, you can get your opinion in, just like we have all our opinions that we voice. Hashtag Ask Cricbuzz Live, get it in. Zaheer's short answer to that was no. He is not happy, not in a negative sense, just to say that maybe Natarajan could have been the flavor of the moment, but it's always good to have youngsters, newcomers, pushing the door down. Lots of experience in the likes of Shami and so many other big names who are ahead looking over their shoulders right now. But before any of the bowlers, and the England bowlers will be up first, start asking questions of the batters, we have our expert who likes to ask questions for a living, Joy Bhattacharya, with his joy factor question. And this is where we start with. Never mind T20 cricket. He's brought Don Bradman and Bill Ponsford in. What were they the first to achieve in 1934? He likes to go back to his own vintage, does Joy. And Lakshman and Gambhir, the first Indians to achieve in 2008. Michael's got a frown on his face, as he always does when Joy asks a question. But never mind, Bradman and Ponsford, Lakshman and Gambhir. That's going to be an interesting one. Never mind the format of the game. We just love cricket to come in any way, shape or form. As I said at the start, the pink ball is gone, the red ball is gone, but it's time for the white ball. So I guess, as we like to do when we finish, we want to try and get a feel of what our experts think may be a preferred score at the end of 20 overs. India have been asked to bat first, and that's a reminder. So Zaheer, what do you think India are going to get in their 20 overs to start the series and set the gauntlet?
Should I start with looking at the test wickets, or just go with the T20 format? I think 170 will be a good score. That's something which I'm looking at. Anywhere close to 170 is, well, my prediction is 170. Let's just stick to that.
170. I'm going to throw in a number before I give my prediction. 164, the average score in the Syed Mushtaq Ali at this venue. So, Michael, if you want to use that as a benchmark, or just go by your backyard, either way is fine.
I'm going to go a bit higher. I'm going to go 178. The black soil is going to play very nicely. 178.
Black soil is going to play nicely. Should I go higher? Should I go lower? I tend to do it. I tend to get it wrong more often than not, especially when I'm trying to go to any extreme. But I'll go conservative. First match of the series, the likes of Jofra enjoying their conditions out there. So I'll go just a little bit lower at 159. 159. I'm going to be shot from all corners. I'm going to lose a lot of friends in the next few minutes, but it's just a bit of fun, just a bit of prediction, and we will try and see where India stand at the 10th over. Yes, I'm so sorry about it, whoever you are, about that prediction. 10th over, Cricbuzz Combox. We'll assess India's progress. One final reminder, white ball T20 international cricket is back. We're back on Cricbuzz Live, and it's India batting first. We'll see you soon. This has been yet another start to a series on Cricbuzz Live.